Hey, what's going on guys? Chad here. Today we're going to take a look at Vaxee XE Wireless. This is their first wireless mouse ever. They did send this out to me for review, but as always, I'm going to give you my unbiased, honest opinion. And there are some things on this mouse that I'm just not that impressed with, and we're going to go over those here in just a minute. But first I want to talk about what is very good on this mouse. The first thing that is great is the sensor. It's a 3395 sensor. The wireless performance on this mouse has been fantastic. There's a couple different versions you can run on this mouse depending on the firmware you're running. With the standard firmware, you can do standard mode or high performance mode. You go from 90 to 45 hours of battery life depending on which one you use there. And then also there's the competitive firmware, which personally I prefer, but your battery life goes to 50 hours in that case. So it's actually better than the high performance mode. So I would definitely recommend running on the competitive mode. I ran the original firmware for a couple days to get a feel for it, and honestly it didn't feel like it was lacking in any way, but when I upgraded to the competitive version of the firmware, it was definitely snappier, crispier, and more responsive. And in terms of speed and feel, I would put it up there next to the Superlight or something like the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro. It's definitely top tier wireless performance. The coating on this mouse is very good. It feels pretty grippy, kind of reminds me of the Superlight coating. Not quite as premium feeling as the Superlight, but it's probably a little bit more grippy than that, so I think that's a good thing. The scroll is actually good. I don't have any complaints about that. It sounds much better than their older mice, and they did a good job with that. The shape here is also great. It kind of reminds me of like if a Viper Mini and a Superlight had a baby, but in all reality, what it is it's an FK2 that's much wider at the grip, and then the hump is taller in the middle than an FK2. It really feels similar on the sides to the Superlight, which I think is a really good thing personally. For me, my hands are 19 by 11, and I use a fingertip grip, and this mouse is just a little bit too big for me to fingertip grip, but it fits perfectly if I'm using a claw grip, and it really can plant into the back of your palm really nicely. You can get a lot of contact. This mouse works with every grip I've tried so far, whether it's fingertip grip, claw grip, or palm. If you're gonna palm, you probably need to have smaller hands than me, but it is definitely capable of doing that comfortably. Overall, I think the shape is fantastic, and it's very smooth feeling in the hand. It just kind of has that typical Vaxee smooth quality feel to it, and it's very versatile for aiming. So all those things are fantastic, and they did a great job with all of that. But we need to talk about the things that are not good with this mouse, and it might just be specific to my copy. That's really important for you guys to understand. It doesn't mean that your copy is going to be the same as mine. All mice are different, and that's why it's very important to watch multiple reviews from different people. The first thing is that the left click has an abnormally high amount of pre-travel on my copy. The right click has way less pre-travel, but still has quite a bit of post. Overall, the clicks on this mouse feel mushy and kind of cheap and poorly implemented. Listen to this real quick. Here's the Soras. So the next thing I don't like is the side buttons, and the back side button is okay on my copy, but the front has a ton of pre-travel, and it makes a loud pinging noise most of the time, and it just doesn't feel or sound very good. And you know, there's just so many other mice out there that are cheaper that have all the buttons dialed in nowadays. So at a $120 price point, I would expect the buttons to be much better, especially from Vaxee, because traditionally they've had really good buttons. You know, I have 4 of their mice, and none of them have these problems, so I'm not sure what's going on. The next thing I'm not a huge fan of is the feet. I just feel like they could be thicker, and you know, they are well rounded and they're smooth and they're high quality, but they're really thin and they don't give you any extra feet in the box, so it just kind of makes me a little bit nervous for how long these are going to last. All right, so the last thing I don't like about this mouse is the build quality. You know, for weighing 76 grams, I think it should be much stronger than it is, and again, this could just be my copy, but it has a ton of creaking and a ton of flexing, and I can activate the side buttons by pressing anywhere on the left side of the mouse. If I just squeeze over here, it activates that easy. Yeah, so that's really not impressive for weighing 76 grams. You know, I would expect it to be much stronger. This is a 60 gram mouse, right? The G Pro Superlight, we all know it. No flex at all. Even both hands, if I squeeze it as hard as I can. Nothing activates, nothing flexes. You know, I'm not really sure what's going on with this mouse. Typically Vaxee has better build quality, better click quality, and you know, I'm a little stumped with this one. That's why I say it's really important to watch multiple reviewers on any product, whether it's a mouse or a speaker or a keyboard, whatever. Always watch multiple reviews, and then you can get a better idea of what's going on with that product. You know, overall my take on it's negative. I'm not that impressed with this mouse, but as always, I want to give you my honest opinion. You know, I'm not trying to bash Vaxee. I think they're a great company. If you guys have any questions about anything with this mouse, drop me a comment down below and I'll try to get to when I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.